Hi, my name is Lexi Zhang and welcome to my channel. So today's video is a viewer request for my Chanel collection. I do not have as large of a Chanel collection as other YouTubers, but this is what I have. So we're going to get started right away with three eyeshadow palettes that I actually set aside to give to a friend. They're just they're older palettes and I just feel like the pigmentation's not really there anymore, and I have a friend who wants them anyway, so I figured she can have them. So the first one here is called Prelude, and I don't even think this one is available anymore, but it is one that I used quite a bit when I first got it. So I'll swatch this for you. So you can see they're showing up just fine on my skin. I like the colors. They're kind of like, browns with a gray undertone to them, which I really, really like. But for some reason, on my eyes, they just kind of dust away. So, I'm kind of done with that one. The next one, and I haven't decided for sure if I'm going to give this one away, but this is number 14, Mystic Eyes. And this was also one that I really liked. However, you can kind of see here, this one didn't swatch very well. This is this silver shade here, and it just has a different texture from the rest of them. It's really hard, and you can see on my finger, I can barely even get anything up. But it's very hard in the pan, but I do like the other shades. However, I'm probably going to pass this one on. I know last time I did a purge video, I had set these aside, and I still, because of the pandemic, I haven't seen her. So, and this next one is also an older palette, but I believe it is still available. This is shade number 8, Vanites. And this has really pretty, lilac shades. And I like the shades, but again, the issue I have with this is it's kind of just dusting away. And I think these were the older formulations, so I'm wondering, I did see the color name listed on Chanel's website, so I don't know, I might repurchase it in the newer formulation and see whether that's any different, because the color story is very pretty, but you can see that these are a little crumbly, they're dry, they're not great right now. Okay, so on to some other eyeshadow palettes that I am definitely keeping. This one here is my favorite of all time. This is Empreinte du Désert, and this was a limited edition quad back in 2016. And I think the shades are beautiful. They're vibrant, they're rich. Even though it is getting a little bit older, I haven't had any issues with the change in quality. And you can see that the metallic shades are richly metallic. The mattes blend out beautifully, and I love the brightness of the green in here. Favorite eyeshadow quad from Chanel ever. Okay, and next up we have 318 Blurry Green. And this is kind of the most similar option to my Empreinte du Désert that is currently out. This is my most recent acquisition, and I really love this palette. I have been wearing it a lot. Just like the Empreinte du Désert, the metallics and the mattes, they blend out beautifully. They're very pigmented. They're definitely a powder, but more of a creamy powder. Haven't really experienced issues with fallout or anything. They are beautiful. Now this is a little bit deeper and a little bit warmer than Empreinte du Désert. So I still prefer Empreinte du Désert over this one, but since that one's not available, this is definitely one that I really love. I'm so glad you guys recommended it to me. Moving on, this was part of, I think, was it the LeBlanc collection or the spring collection? Anyway, this is 358 Au Fil de l'Eau, and I really like this quad, but I do think this is going to be a lighter, more subtle look than the shadows from the Blurry Green. So this one here, you can't really see. This is a peach shade, really blends in well. You've got that really pretty shimmery white. But for me, the stars of these are going to be these bluish gray shades. So you can see this one actually kind of looks more blue right now. They both have a blue undertone. This one's obviously a lot deeper, and I love putting them with the peach. But I do personally really love wearing this quad mixed with the other one that came out in that collection. which is this one here. This is 356 of Fille de Fleur. And this is the pinks and purples. So I love mixing the grays with the purple shade here. I just think it's gorgeous. And again, this one is also going to give you a pretty soft look as well. There you go. So the difference between these whites, you can see this one's more of a peachy undertone. This one's definitely more of a pink undertone. The pinks are really soft and beautiful. And then that deep purple, you know, so personally, I like to mix and match the two quads. I think that's how they work best, but they are definitely going to be a more subtle look than the Blurry green, which is definitely way more pigmented. I like all of these, but I prefer the pigmentation level of the Blurry green. Moving on, this is another quad that I really like. This is 342 Lumiere Opulence. I don't think it's available anymore. It was part of the holiday collection for 2019, but I just felt like these shades were a little bit of a different collection, and the creaminess and pigmentation of them is real nice. So I like them. You've got kind of like an olivey green gold. You've got this more darkish like ember shade with some green mixed in there. You've got kind of like a peachy pink. And then this shade here has a little bit of reddish undertone. So I think, you know, the colors kind of work together to create an interesting look, or you can obviously use them one-on-one or in duos. And I just think it's a very versatile palette, and I think the quality is there for this one. Moving on, this was part of the summer collection, I believe. This is 354 Warm Memories. And this one I almost didn't get, but I did end up going back to get. I wasn't sure if it'd be too warm for me. And although it's a very nice color story, they're not colors I prefer to wear on my eyes. I just feel like they give me a little bit of a sickly appearance. The pinks and mauves and roses and things like that, they don't always work well for me. So this quad is not one of my favorites, but I know it was a very popular quad with many people. And yeah, so for me, it just kind of sits there. Okay, so my last of the eyeshadow quads is 352 Elemental. And this came out the same time as Warm Memories. And although I like the color story, I feel like it shows up better on me on swatches than it does on my eyes. It's very, very light. So for the most part, when I use these shades, I pair it with something else. So it's not really a standalone quad for me because it's just a little bit too light for me. So I do really like it, but I always have to pair it with something. Okay, moving on, I do have 3 of the Ombre Premieres shadows, and this is number 38, Titane, and I love this shade. So it is a really light, sparkly green, and I just think it's gorgeous. I also have this one here, which is number 58, Pourpre Brun, and this was part of the holiday collection, and it's even creamier. It's so creamy. And the other one from the holiday collection is 56 Grandeur. And again, both of these from the holiday collection feel incredibly creamy. And I didn't really think I would use this gold shade very much, but I have found that I really do like it a lot. And I actually like pairing it with Titane. So I think, you know, they actually work really well together, which I personally wouldn't have expected seeing the swatches. Moving on to some more older Chanel eye products. I used to have the entire collection of the Illusion d'Ombres, and you know, unfortunately, as some of them have dried up, I got rid of them. But one of you guys actually mentioned that I should just add, you know, something like the Duraline or something to kind of thin it out and, you know, keep it moist. And I can actually put like a moistened like cotton pad or something in here to kind of rehydrate it. So I haven't gotten rid of these. I have 4 of them left. This one here is number 84, Eptatant. And this is, you know, it's absolutely beautiful. This is one of my favorites. So it's a silvery gray, but it does have a little bit of a greenish look to it in certain lighting. This one here, and I have to hold it carefully because it is loose inside. This is 83 Illusoire. And it's a beautiful purple. Again, another one of my favorites. Then we have 82 Emerveille, I'm not sure how to say that. And this is a peachy shade. And then we have 81 Fantasme, and this is a super sparkly white shade. Look at that. I mean, I wish they would bring these back. I had Mirifique, which was like the black version of this, which was incredible. So I loved this line. I'm not sure why they got rid of it, but I wish they would bring these back because I think they are fantastic. And I really loved, you know, a lot of the colors that they had. Okay, I cannot believe I have so many Chanel eye products, but apparently I do. I also have the 5 shades of the Ombre Premieres Laques. So these are the liquid eyeshadows that came out, I think, for summer. But they released 5 shades, and I do have all 5 of these. And I often pair these with the Elemental Quad. And I really, really like these shades, and I like the formula of this. So it goes on smoothly. I usually dab it on and then apply, smooth out with a brush, or, sometimes I'll just use the brush on the applicator here. This shade here is number 22, Rayon. And sorry, I do still have some sparkle from the Illusoire, Illusion d'Ombres. This here is number 24, Rising Sun. And one of the things I like about this formula is that once they dry, and they dry fairly quickly, so, I would recommend doing one eye at a time. But once they dry, they are not budging. So I often use these as eyeliner as well. Next up, we have number 26, Quartz Rose. (32) Vastness. And 28, Desert Wind. So when these came out, I originally purchased, I think, 3 of them, and I really like these. I really like the formula a lot, so I actually went back and got the rest of the set. So I hope they come out with these in more colors. It is a relatively new product, so hopefully they will be extending that line. Okay, moving on to eyeliners. I have 3 of the, I only have 2 of the Stylo Ombre contours, and this one here is Contour Brun, and I like this shade. It's just like a nice brown, nice deep brown. And one of the things I like about these products is they are a little chunkier, so if you're looking for like a thicker eyeliner, this works well for that. You can also kind of smudge these out and have an eyeshadow look. And at the bottom here of the Stylo, this comes out and it's a little sharpener here for the tip. The other shade I have in this is Contour Mauve, or Contour Mauve, and this is not a shade that works well for me. It's a little bit, the undertone's a little bit too reddish orangey for me, but I've definitely seen it look beautiful on people with slightly warmer skin tones. So it's a really nice color. It's just not great for me. So this is number 36. Contour Brun is 34. And I used to have a ton of these Stylo Yeux waterproof eyeliners from Chanel, but last summer I actually got rid of all of my eyeliners and started repurchasing, and I just I haven't gotten around to repurchasing more of these. So I think I probably will be doing that. This one here is number 951, Khaki Intense, and let's make that a little bit bigger here. So you can see it's kind of like a green khaki, but it's a little bit, deeper, a little bit of forest green mixed into there. So I like this shade, but it was a limited edition shade. I think this came out with the holiday collection for 2019, but I don't think it's available anymore. Okay, and then I also have 2 of the newer liquid eyeliners from Chanel, and I love these, and actually one of my favorite ways to wear these is actually as eyeshadow, because again, they don't smudge. So you put it on, smudge it in with a brush, and it just doesn't budge. So you've got the smaller end with the well, and then this shade here is Gris Argent, which is number 524. So there we go. So you can see it is a gray shade, and you know, when the light hits it just right, you can see tones of brown and tones of green. So it's really pretty. I like this one. But I really love this shade here, which is the 518. And this, I believe, is called Mauve Metal. And look at that shade. It's like a plummy mauve, and it's just really pretty. I like that. Now they do have some other colors that I do plan on getting when it gets a little bit closer to fall. There's like a burgundy shade that I really want, and a bright blue that looks really pretty. So yeah, I like these. The applicator doesn't give you a super fine line, like for example the Surat Autographique, these liquid eyeliners. These give you a much finer point. You can see how thin that is. So I find these a little bit easier to use than the ones that you kind of have to dip into the well, and then you could end up with a glop. But again, I really like these for eyeshadow as well. Okay, moving on to blush. I do not have a ton of Chanel blushes, but they are something that I would like to add to my collection because I think the Chanel blushes are great. I just always end up reaching for like the same one or two of my Chanel blushes, so I haven't really felt the need to expand the collection. This shade here is number 10, Tweed Pink, and this is a really soft, light petal pink. Let's see if we can, let me build that up for you. Okay, so here it is, Tweed Pink. It is a very light shade, so this is actually not my favorite blush. I like the color, and I think it's a very nice color, but I have to work really hard to build this up, and it's a little bit harder in the pan than my other blushes, so it's just not one that I reach for, and it's only okay. Next up, this is the newest Chanel blush. This is 330 Rose Petillant, and I love this shade. So you can actually see you've got like warm pink, cool pink, a little bit of reddish, kind of all swirled together in there. And I think is a beautiful, beautiful shade. And when you apply it on your cheeks, you can kind of see like all of those shades. So there we go. It just gives such a really pretty, healthy flush. The blush I actually reach for the most is number 68, Rose Ecrin. And it's kind of like a nude-based rose. And I've had this forever. I love this shade, and when I don't know what to wear, this is the blush I pretty much always reach for. So very, very pretty. Pink Explosion is a brighter pop of pink and I really like this one. It does have some sparkle, and is another blush from Chanel that I think just gives a really nice summer vibe. So you can see it's a much cooler tone than the Rose Petillant. It's a little bit brighter, but I think using a light hand on this gives me just that nice healthy pop of color. And this is probably my second favorite shade, or no, third favorite. I think Rose Petillant is now second. So we go Rose Ecrin, Rose Petillant, and now 72 Rose Initial. So this is sorry, it's my middle finger. This is another beautiful shade, and you can see it's a little bit warmer. Also gives a bright pop of color. So you can see how light Tweed Pink is compared to all of these others. And it was really hard for me to get enough of this to swatch. I'm also starting to develop a little bit of hard pan on that one. So I wouldn't recommend the Tweed Pink, but the others I really like. Now, sometime in July, Chanel is going to be releasing the 3 of their shades of blush. I think it's the Rose Initial, the Rose Ecrin, and I can't remember what the third color is, but it's a really deep color, Profonde maybe. It's too deep for me, it looked like, but they'll be re-releasing those in the packaging with I think it's the red emblem instead of the white. So if you're interested in any of those colors, you might want the red emblem. Okay, so let's move on to highlighters. And I actually only have 3 of these and they're all recent. And so this first one here is Eclat du Désert. So it comes in, a larger compact size. So this is 0.38 ounces or 11 grams. And it has a mirror on one side and one of the half moon brushes with a little, plastic cover. So you keep this kind of protected. Now, this blush or highlight I really like, but I can also use this as a blush. So it's kind of a soft peachy pink shimmery shade, but it is deep enough when you build it up that I can use this as a blush on my cheeks, and I often do that. You can see it is a creamy feeling, but it's crumbly. So it has a different formula. All 3 of the highlighters that I have from Chanel have a different formula, but I think it kind of gives like a really nice kind of bronzed peachy look to my cheeks when I use this as a blush. So I really like this. I think this was summer collection, and yeah, I've been wearing it a lot during the summer actually, and the spring. Okay, the next one I have is the Metal Peach. This is from the holiday collection, and just like the other one, it came with a half moon brush, but you can see this one has white tip, whereas the one from the Eclat du Désert does not have any white hairs. So same packaging, otherwise you've got the plastic piece. And this here is a beautiful, beautiful, soft, peachy, metallic shade. Now, the only thing with this is a much harder highlight. So it's much firmer in the pan. It swatches super well, but getting it up on a brush and applying it to your cheeks does take a little bit more work. For me, that's fine. Since I'm fair, I like to use this kind of light-handed, but you do want to make sure you use a firmer brush to pick up the product. But I love the color. I love the sheen to this. So this is another one that I also really, really enjoy. Okay, and my third and final highlight is the Duo de Camellia. And this is my favorite of the 3 that I have. Again, it has a different texture as the other 2, but I love how you can kind of create your own shade here. So this is the silver and the gold mix, which is how I usually wear it. And you can see that when the light hits it, you see some silver, you see some gold. All right, and then here they are separately. So you have a soft gold and you have this metallic silver shade. And, I don't think any of these are overpowering. You can obviously build them up to get more sparkle, but you can also use them very subtly, and I really like them. So out of the 3 highlights from Chanel that I have, this one is my favorite formula as well. It's not super dry and powdery, not super creamy. It's just kind of perfect in the middle. It's like Goldilocks and 3 Bears. Okay, so first of all, let me apologize for my appearance. I know I look like a mess right now, but I was editing. It's actually late at night already, and I realized I forgot 2 of my Chanel items. So the first one I wanted to mention is the Chanel. This came out with the LeBlanc collection. These are the Rosy Light Drops, and they're kind of like they are a highlighter, but they're a liquid, and these are amazing. I forgot them because I've been using them a lot to mix them with concealer and put them under my eyes for some brightening, but it also leaves this really beautiful pearly pink glow, to your skin. You can use it underneath foundation, on top of it, whatever. You can mix it in with things. So I really like these. This particular shade, was a limited edition to that collection, so that's not available, but they did come out with some additional shades with the Le Beige collection. So I don't have those, but I do have the Rosy Light Drops, and I really like them. And I can imagine that the other shades, are just as beautiful, just obviously a different shade. The other item I forgot is this, and I'm gonna put it in the highlight section because I'm not really sure where to put it. It's a top coat. You can put this on your eyes, but it's really a multi-use product. So you can use it lips, eyes, cheeks, wherever. And, it has kind of like a balmy texture, kind of like a firm lip balm. And then, there you go. It's like this clear gloss, but it has like a pink reflect. And at times you see a little bit of blue and green, but for the most part, the majority of the reflect is pretty pink. So I personally don't like to wear it on my eyes. I've tried it, but I'm not a fan of it that way, but I will occasionally use this on my cheeks for highlighting. However, it doesn't dry down completely. So I don't really love it that way. So honestly, I use it as lip balm pretty much just because I have it. This is not something I would repurchase. I don't love the product, but I do think that's a nice shade, and mixing it on top of like a lip gloss, or not lip gloss, a lipstick or something, you know, I do think it gives a nice effect. It's just, for me, this product wasn't worth it. Okay, so moving on to lip products, we're gonna start off with lip pencils. And these, all the ones I have are the newer formula, just like my eye pencils. I kind of got rid of all of my old lip pencils over the summer and started from scratch. And this, I have 6 of these. I really like these new formula. I like the old one too, but I like the newer one better. So anyway, you have a brush at one end, and then you have, you know, the pencil at the other end. It does come with a sharpener. I have 6 of these shades. I find that they last really well on me, and I often just wear the lip liner with some lip gloss over it. So this shade here is number 154, Peachy Nude. And if you have like a lipstick or something that's just a little bit too deep for you, putting this one on underneath, for me, it helps kind of like change the color a little bit lighter, and it works well. This is Nude Brun, number 162, and I use this one probably the most. This is the most natural shade. Well, I guess it's not super natural because it's kind of like brown, but you know, under lipsticks and all, it works really well as a neutral. Number 164, Pivoine. This is another one that I really love, and it's kind of got a rosy tone to it. And I actually really like pairing this one under red lipsticks a lot. It kind of just gives the red lipstick kind of like a deeper quality to it, and I really enjoy this one. Number 172, Bois de Rose. This is a really pretty, kind of like a warmer strawberry shade. And surprisingly, probably might be my second most used. This is Rose Framboise 182. And I just really like wearing this one with lip gloss. So I wear this one a lot on its own. I just think it's a really nice bright pink, and I like the way it layers and it doesn't bleed or anything like some of the brighter lip glosses and lipsticks do. So I really like that shade. And I also have number 188, Brun Carmen. And I bought this one, but I haven't used this one too much yet, but I do plan on using this more during the fall and winter when I wear deeper red lipsticks more frequently. And this, I actually have the Carmen lip gloss. Is there a lipstick too? I don't remember. But anyway, I have the another Carmen product, so I thought this would go well with it. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the lip glosses that I have. So I did just purchase 2 of these. So if you saw my most recent Chanel haul, you'll recognize these. We have number 119 here. And I used to have a ton of Chanel glosses, but again, I did purge them because I think it's important to, you know, renew all of your lip glosses periodically with bacteria and all that. So this is number 119. The one I just recently purchased is 722. That one's more nude. I kind of blended that a bit better. So it's 722. And then I have a couple of reds. This is 824. And I think it's a really bright, pretty classic red. I wear this a lot during the holidays, and I like the Chanel lip glosses in red. They will bleed if you don't use a pencil after a while. They stay on pretty well without bleeding for me for maybe a couple hours, but then I do start getting the feathering around the lips. But I find it easier to apply than a red lipstick, you know, getting things perfect. So if I just use a pencil and then the lip gloss, I find they work beautifully. Okay, and then I think this one might be the Carmen lip gloss. This is 826. So this is more of a maroon burgundy red. Again, very pretty. And I think both of those were from the holiday. Hi, back again. Forgot another gloss. This is number 816. And this is Lac Noir, I think. And here we go. So it looks kind of black, but if you shear it out, it's really just a really deep eggplant purple. And I think this is really a special gloss. I really like it, and I have a hard time finding deep purple lipsticks that stay true to color. This one does. I really enjoy it. I also have one of these. These are, you know, those dual products. I forget what they are called. Oh, Le Rouge Duo Ultra Tenue Gloss. And basically you've got the two ends here. So you've got this gloss end and this colored end. And they're supposed to just like not really move once you layer them. And I think the product is fine, but I don't love them. So I got this one to try. This is number 112 Chic Rosewood. And the color I'm not thrilled with. But aside from that, I just don't really like the way they feel on my lips. So basically you put this on and you let it dry. So you kind of let it dry down until it's not really comfortable on your lips. And then you apply the gloss and, you know, it just kind of stays put. But I don't know. There's something about the texture. It's just, it never really feels all that comfortable to me. And yeah, I just don't love it. So I have no plans of purchasing more of these. All right, moving on. I have 3 of the Rouge Coco Flashes. Again, if you saw my last haul, 2 of these are from that. This is number 54, Boy, and it's just a really light, kind of like a brownish nude. And then I also have number 116, Easy, which is kind of like a pinker version of that. I have 144 in Mauve, which is a coral shade. And then I also have 112 Eau de Rose, which came with the, I think the LeBlanc collection. But I really love this shade. So yeah, these are beautiful. I really like the formula of these, and you know, they're kind of the balm lipstick hybrid, but they do have some really pigmented shades, and they obviously leave plenty of color on your lips, but they're super comfortable and easy to apply. So I'm loving the Rouge Coco Flashes. All right, so let's move on to the Camellia lipsticks. So this Camellia collection came out over the winter, and they are limited edition. They have a Camellia Rose on the top of it, and this is the type where you push in and pull out. Now, they are limited edition. Some of them are still around, but a lot of them are gone. And I believe, if I recall correctly, there were matte and satin, but I only got satin. I don't recall, but I do have quite a few of these. So this is the clear one, the Camellia Blanc 327. And honestly, I mean, you're not really going to see anything. It's just kind of like, it's pretty clear. So I got this primarily as a lip balm or to put on top of other colors. And I usually just keep this in my purse. So yeah, I like this. All right, 337 Camellia Rose. This is beautiful. One of my favorites. It's a really nice medium neutral rose shade, and I think it is gorgeous. I like this one a lot. Then we have 617 Camellia Granat. Beautiful berry shade, and I think this is going to be great in the fall. I wore this a lot in winter, spring. 637 Camellia Pourpre. I mean, look at that. It's like a deep plum berry, and you know, it's beautiful. Another great fall shade for me. And the last of my Camellia lipsticks is this Rouge Métal. So this is number 607, and it's a metallic red, and I love it. I love the finish of it, the shine of it. It's a beautiful sheen, and you know, this came out, I want to say after the holidays, but I think it's the perfect holiday red. So I really love this shade. Moving on to some other Chanel lipsticks. These are, I think, all reds. Or no, they're not all reds, but mostly. But these are from the holiday collection. This is number 817, Rouge Splendide. And you've got the Chanel logo here that you push up. And this here, Rouge Splendide, I wear a lot during the summer. I don't know why they included it in the winter or holiday collection, but I feel like it's like the perfect summer shade. It's, you know, this watermelon-y, strawberry pink, very bright, you know, a little bit of pink, a little bit of coral in there. I think it's gorgeous, but I personally like it for spring, summer. All right, so one of my favorite reds is this one here, which is 857 Rouge Noble. And, you know, it's a burgundy red. It's very beautiful, very striking. And I really like this. I wore this one a lot in the fall and winter last year. Another great one, 847 Rouge Majesté. And this one's a little bit brighter. And you can see it's a little bit more similar in color to this one here from the Camellia, which is the Camellia Granat. So if you know, they are similar. This one is a little bit brighter and, you know, a little bit cooler toned. And my last one is number 807, Rouge Délicieux. And this is, you know, a pretty neutral, you know, rosy, peachy shade. There's a little bit of peach undertone in this. I think it's a really pretty color. And when I originally purchased these four together, and I thought for sure this would be the one that I wore all the time and it would be my absolute favorite. But surprisingly, these two here, Rouge Splendide and Rouge Noble, were the ones that I wore the most. So I do really like this shade, but you know, I love these other ones. So that is everything for my Chanel collection. I don't have any of their brushes or anything. And I used to have some of their foundations, but you know, I have a really hard time getting a perfect color match with them. So I actually just kind of purged the last of my Chanel foundations during the summer last year. And I haven't tried any more since then. So I probably will at some point. Well, I know I will at some point, but right now I don't have any. Prior to that, I typically wore like the shade, I think it was like 10 or... Okay, so that was everything from my Chanel collection. And I hope this video was helpful and fun for you. So if you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope to see you guys in my next video. So thank you so much for joining me and have a great day. Stay safe and healthy.